Ahoy, hipsters! This is Auburn Forest Song, and welcome to the Bougie Mystic. So today I am going to be sharing with you a recipe that was given to me by a folk spirit that recently showed up for me. I think it was around the Christmas time. So stick with me as you see how I make my version, or I guess their version, of snake oil. So first I'm going to show you the ingredients, and we have whole angelica root here. We also have technically a purple carnation, but it's kind of old, so that's why it doesn't look as vibrant. We also have calamus root. This is just like it chopped up. I also have some catnip that I almost spilled and made a whole mess out of. But yeah, that's some catnip. I also have 5 star anise pods. And this is cassia, but this is true cassia. This is Chinese cinnamon. This and the whole angelica root were the main things that took so long to get here, that I had to wait for in order for me to make this potion. Sometimes your spirits just want what they want, right? This is a combo ingredient. This is clove tobacco. Normally I'd use clove or tobacco separately, but I didn't have tobacco on its own. I'm also going to be using raw unfiltered honey and extra virgin olive oil. And in the jar is a northeastern African carpet viper. So first I add in the angelica root, and the way that I was guided is that I had to put these ingredients in a way that wouldn't obscure the face of the snake. So now I'm adding in those star anise pods. Again, I kept most, especially the bigger ingredients, I kept most of them at the back. And I say back, but where the face or the head of the snake wasn't. Now I'm adding in that cassia piece. This one was a real bitch to get in, y'all. It was just really difficult to figure out that right spot for it to lay in. But eventually I figure it out, you know? Eventually it just slides in there. Just had to do a little shimmy shimmy. Now I'm adding that purple carnation. I think we all know what the majority of these ingredients for, but if you're curious, just check the description box below. I'll have it all written out what it's used for. I also wanted to add the honey at this point, so that way the rest of the ingredients and the oil could help pour it the rest of the way through the jar. So I'm adding a good spoon of honey, and I'm just going to let that drizzle off the spoon into that jar. I'm also now adding the clove tobacco. This one you're probably not going to see too much of until towards the end, just because it kind of broke, or I technically I broke it and I didn't break it good. So some of the tobacco was still at the filter portion, and that's what I'm picking out now. And then a little later, I pick up the rest of the cigarette and I just start unpeeling it and slowly like breaking up the tobacco because it was pretty compact in there. I was pretty impressed, quite frankly. So now I've figured out how to like get a good angle where I can unwrap the rest of the clove tobacco and you can actually see what I'm doing. This is if you don't know how to get clove tobacco, just get Djarums. That's what I do. I have another spirit, technically a deity, that likes Djarums to be given to them periodically, so I just used one of those that I had on hand. And, you know, they didn't mind. Both of them are like feminine energies, or presenting energies, so I think that's why it wasn't that big of a deal.
Ay, Marta, oye mi voz. Oye, Santa Marta. Ay, Santa Marta, mira que te llamo.
So now I'm gonna add in that catnip, just plop it all on top. Sometimes when I use these caps, like little bowls, I gotta turn it over and shimmy it to get all the ingredients out. And the last one I'm gonna be adding is that calamus. Again, just pouring it out. This one came out a little easier than the catnip. Now I'm going to top it off with the olive oil. And I don't think it's going to show up in here, but it was doing that same thing that the Trinca Panchalavari was doing, that breathing or the bubbling that happens that lets you know that the spirit is breathing and coming to life. Oh, it's a really magical thing to see. So I'm just going to pop that beautiful top on. That's how the folk spirit wanted me to decorate it, according to some of the colors. And so I just, again, decorating these jars is a means of appeasing the spirit of the potion. It's just part of that bohemian twist on this snake potion, snake oil recipe. But yeah, that is my snake oil. Gave it a good shake, give you all a close up, and see the head of the snake, honored the wishes that the spirit wanted. So this is the snake oil, or I keep calling it snake oil, but technically I've referred to them as potion, so it's snake potion. But thank you all so much for watching. As always, Ployne Avichni Paravamo Sesh. Mwah.